What's good, YouTube? RunixYJoe here, back with a new deck profile with a new ban list for April 2025, and that deck is none other than White Forest Azamina, pure White Forest, with a hint of the Millennium engine. Now, there is Fiendsmith cards as well, but you could hardly call it a Fiendsmith deck just because we only have one copy, and we're just mainly using it as an engine as well, just to go into things. But this is White Forest Azamina. And the reason I wanted to play this deck is because right now it's hovering around tier 2 and 3, and it's doing pretty well for itself. Didn't really get hit by the ban list, but the reason I wanted to share off this deck is because with the new ban with Beatrice, there is actually a new way, and arguably the same way, to still play the deck by getting a Stellar to the grave and still being able to utilize its effects, and that's with M7. We'll show in replays later how to go into it and just play the deck to bridge from Millennium into White Forest. Now, just going over engine real quick and just showing off deck profiles. Things can always change in terms of ratios of hand traps. Like I always mention, three things. Hand traps can always change based off format, based off budget, and based off preference. So you do not have to play the hand traps that I play. I just play it this way due to budget and my own preference. That's why. But getting into the deck profile, I wanted to just show off how, on average, this is typically how people are going to be playing White Forest, and typically this is always going to be the ratios from what I'm seeing in Master Duel meta and just in general tournaments and what I'm facing. So we're playing 1 Stellar, 3 LZs, 1 LZ of our Azamina LZ, 3 Sylvies, and 1 Rushia. That's typically all the engine that you need, and that you'll be using all those cards typically in an uninterrupted board of summoning White Forest engine. And yeah, it seems like this is the perfect, quote-unquote perfect ratios for White Forest at this time. Now again, we're playing 1 Veiler because you could search for it, and budget reasons I don't have more than that, but if you'd like to play more, you may. We're playing 1 Droll Lock due to other things that we're have preference in, but of course you can always play a whole play set as well if you'd like. We're also playing 3 Ash Blossoms. That's pretty staple at this point. 2 Mulcharmy Fuvalos. The reasons 2 is because 3 could be a little bricky in my own taste, but again, hand traps changes as your own preference. Now we're playing 3 Golem and 3 Sengenjin. Now the reason we're playing 3 is because this is essentially a starter for you, and that bridges into White Forest, and it's a really strong engine that is pretty consistent and gives free bodies for spells and traps to send as well. So it's pretty good. We're playing the 1 Engraver and the 1 Diabell Star. The reason we're playing 1 is because playing more than 1, it could be a little bricky because you could easily search it, and I'll show you how later in a bit that how you can bridge into it if you don't draw into it. The White Forest engine can easily summon it. That's why we're playing 1 Tails, 1 Hollow Azamina, 1 Wuju Temple for more Millennium. It's part of the Millennium engine. We're actually playing 1 Deception of Sinful Spoils because again, you can easily bridge into this with the Millennium stuff. So you'll see it in action momentarily. 2 Call by the Grave, staple. 1 Crossout. That's why we're playing as many hand traps as we can. So yeah, 1 Crossout. 1 Wanted. 2 Evenly. So this is my tech. You do not have to play it. I just play it because 1, it's a spell and trap that you could send if you're going first, and 2, I just like board breakers. That's why it's just my thing. 2 Imperms. 1 Morian. This is just basically a Book of Moon, and Woes. So that's a 40 card deck. You could always change the the hand traps as you like. You can add a Nibiru, add a 3 playset of something, do as you like, but just know that the White Forest engine is established as is already. Now for the extra deck, we're just playing one Lacrima. The reason for that is just for bodies to link off and use as fodder, essentially. One Azamina Sylvia, this is your Omni Negate. Rusialago, which is your extender for Azamina. Doom Dragon, you go into this almost often, on 99% of times with Millennium. One Silvera, one Rusilla, and one Diabellstar. That's the trio of White Forest. One Baron de Fleur, one M7, who will show how this we can bridge into this. One Fiendsmith Requiem. Now, Sprind is the other new addition. Due to not having Beatrice, Sprind is a substitute. Now, is it better? By no means it is not. Does it do the similar things? Yes, it does. Sends, when this card is linked, you can send a level 2 monster from deck to your grave. Now, you're wondering, what could you send? You can send a Stellar. And if you've already normal summoned, you can also bring out LZ. And what's cool is if you already had full combo and you somehow could go into Sprint, guess what? Maxi is also a level 2 that you can also get. So it definitely has its niches, Sprint. So we're playing one Little Knight, one Moon of the Closed Heaven extender, and Sequence, and lastly Apollosa. So this is the White Forest Azamina deck. I hope you like it. If you have any feedback, questions, you can always comment. I definitely would love to help anyone out that is trying to mess around with White Forest. Now let's go into a typical combo that uninterrupted, hypothetically, how deep this deck can go in terms of how what their end board can look like. Let's go. Now, before we start, I'd like to at least give some credit that inspired me to still play White Forest after the banning of Beatrice, because Beatrice being banned hits a lot of decks, not just Snake-Eyes. There was White Forest, Snake-Eyes, there was Tearlaments. I'm sure there's so many more decks that could be utilized Beatrice. So it being banned and finding still a way to still play the White Forest is just really revolutionary, or still just resilient. So I'd like to shout out the Shapist of Snatches. It's a YouTuber I'm subscribed to and follow, and he has really insightful videos. And yeah, I'll link his channel down below just to give him some credit. Now, I just wanted to show how you can play this deck, one card combo, and what a one card can end on as an end board, assuming obviously uninterrupted, going first. Now, all you really need is any Millennium card to do this. Now let's pretend LZ does not exist in my hand, or it's just fodder, because for this combo to work, you need at least one monster, any fodder monster, and one Millennium card, and you can go full combo up to a, I believe, 8 this interruption board. Now with Sengenjin, how you start this is you're gonna use its effect. Okay, so we'll send it to the Spell and Trap, pay 2,000 to special summon it, and add cards to hand. So we're now gonna get Golem. Keep in mind, these cards can easily tag each other out. Now same thing, we're gonna use its effect, is put it in the Spell and Trap, spend another 2k, special summon it, and go into Wuju Temple. Now why you need a Millennium card plus one monster or a monster put in the Spell and Trap from your hand. So we're gonna put LZ, just pretending it doesn't exist. Put it in the back row, and then we can place a card on the field. It doesn't matter at this point. I'll just put the Golem. And now what you do next is you will then link 2 to Mood of Closed Heaven to start off your Fiendsmith combo. This will then tag for Moon into Requiem, and then Requiem tribute into Fiendsmith. And now we use the effect of Requiem to attach. Now, cool thing here, what you will be using is Doom Dragon. So you can easily go into Doom Dragon. Oh, do not use the effect. I almost used the effect. Do not use it, because it is just fodder to go into sequence. And then sequence effect to go into Lacrima. Effect of Lacrima to go into special summoning Engraver. So important special summon, do not add it to your hand. Now what you do is go into Sprind. Now this is how you go into White Forest. This is the important part. At this point you should have gotten negated or interrupted by now. I'm sure your opponent would not have let you play it, and you could have went into White Forest still with LZ in your hand. But assuming, again, not interrupted, it's important. You must use Engraver and Sequence at least, because you're gonna summon Engraver back again. So we go into Sprind here. Effective Sprind to dump a level 2. So this is now how you... This is the substitute for Beatrice. Now again, is it better than Beatrice? No. Is it more efficient? No. Is it still useful? Yes. It's still useful, and it can still bridge you. So now we use Engraver's effect to put back Sequence. And then we XYZ summon into M7. We then detach, and we have not even committed to our normal summon yet. So that is our normal summon right here. Effect. We will just send, it doesn't matter what you send, Wuju Temple or the back row card that you set. So we'll just send Wuju to get Sylvie's effect, to get Tails. We then synchro into Rusilla. Discard Tails. We will now get, I believe, LZ. And then, cool thing here, we can chain 1 Stellar, chain 2 Tails. Set it. Put that here. We'll then use Tails to search for the Azamina LZ. Now, this is important. You want to use Azamina LZ as the synchro to chain block and further continue. So we'll synchro into Diabell, Queen of the White Forest. So important, whichever you want to chain block. So it's important for me to get LZ. So we'll chain 1, chain 2 to get just Tails back. Nothing else we could get at this point. And we will now get Deception. Now you might be asking yourself, Runix, how are we going to use Sprite Sprind? Because the thing is, it's you cannot use it as link material to turn it special summoned. So what we use it for instead, now this is super important in this combo, or you'll be missing a few resources or an extra body if you don't do it this way. So we'll use Deception to send Sprind away, get hollowed, use the effect of LZ, we'll send now the other body. And now we literally got touched or tagged all our White Forest cards. This is why you use these ratios. Now, we use the effect of Sylvie to put back Priscilla. And then we will link for Apollosa. And you shouldn't use the effect of Lacrima for next turn unless you're trying to burn and win for game. So just cancel. We'll then special summon Rusia. And finally, we'll use Hallowed Azamina to go into Priscilla. Or sorry, Murcielago. Effect. This is to grab Wanted. We can also use the effect of Rusia to just pitch if you truly want to draw and send Tails away. So we can do that since Tails is kind of useless at this point in the stage of the game. When we drew, we can now synchro for 10. And then effect of Hollowed in the grave. We'll send LZ back just in case we need to reuse it. And then Hollowed Azamina, and this is important, to chain with Wanted so that you get a free body as well. We get this to hand. Then we get Mu Murcielago. Then can send. We'll just send the Sengenjin. Fact to finally get the last Azamina card in your hand. And if you want, you can use Wanted to draw an extra card. If you don't care about having Deception. And that's basically 3 draws right there that you could get. But yeah, let's just use it. Okay, so this is the final end board. So with this, you have 4 monster negates, 2 Omni negates, 1 Diabell to Book of Eclipse, that's 7. And lastly, Morian, 8. That's the Book of Moon. That is a total of 8 interruptions that you can go with a 1-card combo, or 1.5 to arguably, if you want to say that Sengenjin plus you need 1 monster for this to work, which is pretty likely. But that's 8 interruptions, the same equivalent as Snake-Eyes Fiendsmith. However, I personally believe that White Forest's end board is more powerful than Snake-Eyes Fiendsmith in terms of having the 2 Omni negates you have. Whilst with Snake-Eyes Fiendsmith Azamina, you only could get 1 Omni negate and a bunch of interruptions. However, they are more consistent of a deck and a true 1-card combo Snake-Eyes. But with a 1.5 card combo with White Forest, you can go up to an 8 interruption plus our hand traps here, so that's 11 interruptions in our game here, all from the Millennium engine. Now that's not to say you can still do more combinations with the Azamina or White Forest combos if you draw it with opening hand. I just wanted to show how the deck can still function and bridge with the M7 Sprind and Fiendsmith combo. So it definitely can still work. I hope you learn something and you get some inspiration too. Of course, there may be some changes once the ban list comes out, but seeing how people innovated, became, really innovative, and just making still this deck bridge is nothing but spectacular. So yeah, let's go into replays just to show you the power of this deck. Now, coming into replays, this first duel, I want to show how in practice it may not go as like the simulated way of showing how to do the combo line, but that's okay. The Millennium engine is really strong and it's super consistent. One card combo can go to a huge end board like you've seen, but it's also a big hand trap magnet. So with that being said, you can use that to your advantage. With Millennium, getting hand trapped, as long as you still have your 4 other cards that are engine or white forest, you still potentially can still go full combo without the Millennium engine. The Millennium engine is just sort of a facade of like a gimmick just to show that, oh, this could be an Exodia deck, it could be a big bait basically. And unfortunately, with all the replays, I'm not able to show that line working because in actual practice, you're gonna get hand trapped. So, in other words, White Forest goes full combo more similarly to this replay. So we start off by summoning Golem just to get hand trapped here. So our hand's pretty good going first or second, just because going first, if they max see us, we have Droll for them. They negate it. So we just go full LZ or Azamina combo, or White Forest. So we actually go a Stellar. The reason's because I saw their board not light up, and it just gave me the impression that I knew that they won't have anything. For a Stellar, what's also great about Millennium is that you can actually use them as spell and trap fodder. So we get Sylvie to get Woes, go Rusilla to discard to get LZ, a Stellar to special summon itself, and chain 2 for Woes to be set. We then summon LZ Azamina, go into Diabell, effect of Diabell to get Woes, and then chain with Azamina LZ to get Deception. Use Deception, discard Sylvie because we normal summoned already, get Hollowed to go into Murcielago to get us that Wanted. Now you may be asking yourself, why did I use Wanted here when you should be waiting to use it with Hollowed? The thing is, with this deck, you use Morian as the discard fodder. I've been testing. It's because you want to still be able to get a full Baron on 2 Omni negates, that's why. So we get Diabell Star here. Now we link fodder and go into our Fiendsmith plays. Mind you, it's just for our body. We're not going into full Fiendsmith combo. Just attach Requiem. The reason we do that is because we want to use Requiem as cost. Summon Diabell Star to Black Witch. Doing that, then we get Morian. And then we link the 2 for Sequence. Sequence to get Lacrima. Lacrima to get Engraver. Now typically, yeah, we use it all to go for Apollosa. Typically we would use Engraver and Fiendsmith Lacrima to go into Sprind and M7. However, because the Millennium got negated and we used our normal summon, you don't have to go into that line. Typically, this line is only when it's no interruption. It's a pretty bad choke point too, that if this gets negated, well, you're stuck with those 2 cards unless you could break some way out of it. You can still play with a normal summon still if you go that line, mind you. we send Lacrima, the Lacrima sends Sequence back to burn, and then we send Lacrima back to special summon, and then chain to put back Rusilla. So the reason we do that is because then we have an easy Synchro 10 board. And mind you, we still have not used Hollowed Azamina yet. That's what Morian's for. So then we use Hollowed, reveal at Sylvia. Since it's in the grave, you can set it. So, and also I don't mind drawing. It's because we have Droll locked, so I didn't feel comfortable to send Deception back to the deck with the effect of Wanted. It's because I valued the grind game with Deception. Now, with this board, we have 4 monster negates, 2 Omni negates, 1 Diabell Star to go into Silvera Book of Eclipse, 1 Woes to also set everything face down, and 1 set or Book of Moon, a special summon monster, Morian, with Droll Lock. That's 9 interruptions right there that they need to go through. And they scoop. Now, the reason I want to at least show this duel is just to show the line for White Forest, that you can go full combo, same board as Millennium. Now with this duel, we're going second, and our hand is better going first, but with evenly, this is why I run evenly. I absolutely love evenly. We are fighting a Snake-Eyes deck, Snake-Eyes Azamina. So I'll skip their turn. They go Ash, best normal summon or summon in the game. Ash to Poplar to get Field Spell to get Diabell Star, Link to Rebo, set. Send the 2 for Oak to get blue. Send for Flamber's special summon. Link into Fiendsmith Requiem to get Engraver. Special summon Diabell Star. Send the 2 for Doom Dragon. Go into a number 90. Go into Fiendsmith. Get Lacrima. I was pretty lucky they did not go into Desiree here. But they discard Engraver to get Track to get Lurie to get discarded and special summon. Link's away for Promethean to get Flamberge. Link into Gita. Go into IP. Into Apollosa with protection. And set. So they have 3 monster negates, 1 IP to SP, and Promethean. That's 6 interruptions. I'm not sure about this board of how to play it. I typically don't play this way, but they have 6 interruptions. I draw. Play evenly on battle phase. And now they just have 2 monster negates, and we could easily play through that. They max C, and we skillfully use cross out. Special summon, get Wuju Temple to set the other copy, normal summon. They Ash Blossom that. Doesn't look too good, but their board is also obliterated. So we tried to special, get the second copy of Sengenjin, go into Doom Dragon to try to bait and negate. It's negated. Go into Moon of Close Heavens. We are just trying to get some baits because we still have a play with Rushi as our center. They negate that. And now they have no more interruptions. So we special summon Rushia, knowing that it's over. I could have went into Baron with that, or Rusilla. Actually, no, just Baron, because Rusilla you need a spell or trap. Go into Baron, pop it, and end with one Omni negate. Now, this is some tournament gameplay here. We are in the Factory Cup, and we actually did pretty well in that tournament. We went 23rd place out of 70-some players. We went 3-3, unfortunately, but we learned a lot from playing from that tournament. And this duel, we are fighting against Rokket, and this is a best 2 out of 3 game. And we go first. So we normal summon Sylvie to get woes. Special summon LZ to get Rusia. We have full White Forest. We have every single White Forest card here. They Maxine. And I called by the grave that. So their other Maxi is also out of the picture. Special summon LZ. Go to Rusilla. To discard woes. We had nothing else to discard, and we'll get it back with Diabell, that's why. So, because we had all White Forest cards, it is a situational thing to get Valor. Because the effect of Rusilla is that you can get one light spellcaster from your hand, from the deck, and Valor is a spellcaster. Normal summon Deception, or play Deception. Get rid of a Stellar just because we want to use its graveyard effect. We get back woes. Play Hollowed. Send Deception. Move Rusialago to open up our Diabell Star stuff. Use Wanted to get Diabell Star. Play Sylvie, or use Graveyard effect to Sylvie to link to Moon into Requiem, into Engraver. Engraver to attach. Hollowed to send back Azamina Elza to get Hollowed. Send Requiem for Diabell Star to get Morian. Morian, or link away to Fiendsmith. Send the 2 for Lacrima. Lacrima to get back Engraver. Link into Apollosa 3 only. Link 3. Burn and use Engraver's effect to send away. So we still have an extender with Rusia to go into a Synchro 10. Use Hollowed Azamina, and similar to our end board when we fought against the Elemental Hero player, we just have one less negate with Apollosa. This board, very similar. I forgot to set woes, which is kind of amateurish, but it's okay. Let's pretend I did set it. We have 3 monster negates, 2 Omni negates, 1 Diabell Star to, or Diabell into Silvera Book of Eclipse, woes, which is also another Book of Eclipse, and 1 hand trap. So that is 8 interruptions the player has to go through. And we also set Deception because we want the grind game. So my opponent summons Striker Dragon, uses the effect of Quick Launch. We negate that. Use the field spell and concedes. On to game 2, we are siding. So game 2, we decided to go second, and we get a really good hand from siding. We made 3 Droll Lockbirds. I typically only have 1, and we get 2 import. We get basically full combo plus 4, or 1 card combo, full combo plus 4 hand traps. Opponent goes. They play Quick Launch, so I give them a Maxi so we can draw for free. They are under Maxi. Still have full combo from Sengenjin and Golem. Now we have Sylvie. We imperm that hastily just because we have 2 imperms and Droll so they can't search. We go into Erratic Seal and end. So before we start, I did not know they had Bestials, which is a big counter to White Forest and practically the whole 2 engines, Fiendsmith and White Forest. So playing this out, I thought this was a field day. We have a pretty good hand. We have a lot of gas. I try to imperm so they can't use it. They chain to send itself back to the grave or extra deck. We use Golem. Arguably Golem is the better starter. You get the Wuju and then you get more gas. We put Nibiru just because Nibiru we're not going to use. We set it since we haven't used its effect. Now we have enough for attempt to lethal. So we're going into the Fiendsmith line. Now, this is the important thing. We are actually trying to go into the Sprind M7 combo like the simulation I mentioned to you. There is a choke point, unfortunately, with that type playstyle, unfortunately. Because if you get negated at a certain point, which this was a good time, thankfully we got negated here, we still have a normal summon. I thought this was going to be a little bad. If we didn't have Sylvie, our turn would have possibly ended here. But thankfully, we can still go full combo. We negate the Magna Hut because I know they don't have anything in their graveyard and they have no hand now. Now I still need to be careful because this can vanish. So we normal summon Sylvie, get Tails, use Tails to get Elzeth. Thankfully we have Spell and Trap fodder here. So that's why the Millennium engine complements White Forest very well, because they're also Spell and Trap fodder. Get Rucia, Synchro into Rusilla. Now this is the bad part, because they can possibly banish this. Which they do. Not looking too good, but we also chain with Sylvie so they miss timing here. So we could still have gas, thankfully. Synchro back into Silvera, just because you need to set it face down, and then we chain, so Forest Azamina can't get interrupted. Get Deception. Deception to send Golem. Millennium is such a good engine, complementing well. We go into Murcielago to go into our Diabellstar plays. Special summon Lucia, go into Baron. Send that back to get Hollowed. Use Hollowed with Wanted Chain. Bellstar, and then we have another Omni Negate. Send Droll for Black Witch to get Morian. Amazing, we still played through all that. We pop Baron, and that is enough lethal for 11,000 damage. Going second, you could still definitely play. Now, this is the last replay for the tournament. I wasn't able to get much replays just because they went away after too many duels in a duel room. And with this duel, we're fighting against Adamancipator. And we're already side decking. We don't play Run Nib in the main deck. It's a side deck for us. Going second, we're going second because we won game 1. They go, and they're using our engine, the Millennium engine. I don't know how Adamancipator works too much, but I know they are very susceptible to Nib. They are finally about to be on their 5th summon. Now this effect, I didn't know how they work, but I did not want them to add anything to their hand anymore. So we effect veiler there first, finish the chain, and then after resolution, I Nibiru them. That was a turn ender for them. We felt pretty good there. Now, I did not know they have Imperm there at this time, which kind of sucks. We normal summon, they Imperm us, and unfortunately that stops our play there, right there. So we had just had to set the woes. They normal summon Gigantis. We woes to synchro into Silvera. Silvera to Book of Eclipse everything. Chain with LZ for follow-up. Remind you, they have 4,000 life points left. Tokens do not get flip face down. I could have easily not taken that damage, but the reason I did is because I wanted to follow up body with Sylvie there. We normal summon Sylvie to get tails, and they scoop, knowing I can pop that token and go for lethal. So we were forced to go first. We're fighting against Tenpai. Our hand is full combo with the Millennium engine. Potentially full combo, but unfortunately it gets interrupted. We start with Golem to get Wuju Temple. Wuju Temple to set the Sengenjin, and we get Dominus Impulse, making us unfortunately have to end. Opponent banishes Blaster Dragon, we Ash that. They Genroku. They go to Hydra, and we Imperm Hydra, causing them to thankfully end their turn. We get LZ, which is such a good draw because we have Spell and Trap Water. Link it to Fiendsmith Things. Attach. Send 2 for Doom Dragon. They try to Imperm that, so we cross out. Go into sequence, and they scoop. Great example that we could have still went full gas there with White Forest if they didn't surrender. Now, this duel, this is a huge hand trap board that basically goes crazy here against Blue Eyes. And starting out, they are going first. We are going second. They're trying to special summon, so we maxi. Thankfully, it went through and I didn't have to use Droll and Lock. But we get to draw, and they just end like that. So, we have... excuse me. We do have Droll and Lock against Maxi. And we have Ash, so that was a really good draw. So look, we have Engraver in our hand, and ideally you don't want Engraver in your hand. You could still have it in your hand eventually when you go to Requiem and special summon it, but ideally you still don't want Engraver in your hand. We normal summon Sylvie to get Tails. Send Tails to get the other LZ. Set Tails, and they scoop. Huge combo deck with White Forest. So we're going first, and this is a pretty grindy game. So few misplays too. So I'd love to show misplays as well, just to learn from it. So we normal summon Sylvie to get Tails. They droll and lock. Thankfully, we had the answer because we may have had to stop our plays there. LZ to send Tails, just to get Ashed. Tails to get set. Tails to now get the other LZ. We could still play here, thankfully. Really good extender LZ. Go into Rusilla. Rusilla to send Woes. LZ to Chain. We get Wanted to get Rushia to extend here. We Wanted. Send LZ for Diabellstar. Get Deception. Deception to send Diabellstar to get Hollowed. Hollowed to go into Moo. Moo to get Morian. Special summon. So we're gonna go into getting Baron here. It's very valuable to have your tuners like that. Hollowed to send LZ back. Now, I believe I misplay here. Not knowing that it would get banished, we basically waste Hollowed. But we make it work a little, get a Golem. But yeah, don't do that. Morian's effect, you only should do that once when it's sent to the graveyard effect, because after that it gets banished. So here, I'm sorry, we have one Omni Negate and one Book of Eclipse. That's about it. 2 interruptions and Maxi. That's 3. I Maxi here because they're trying to tag out their cards. Drawing Buvalos. I was surprised it doesn't get destroyed, but it's okay. They drew. They linked. We Woes here because they're trying to special summon. Chain to send back Rushia, so we have a level 6. So 4. Getting LZ. Silvera. Chaining to have LZ back to our hand. Chain 2 to set. Chain 1 to grab their Vanquish Soul. They go into Typhon. Send back Baron, which was a mistake. Attack. They should have sent back Silvera. Now we could bring back Silvera back for follow-up. Because if they put Baron to the graveyard, we can't bring it back. So our hand is full gas here. Special summon, or send it to the grave. Put back Murcielago. Deception to get LZ. They droll and lock us here, but that's okay. We go into Sylvia to have Omni in the game. LZ into Silvera to Book of Eclipse everything. Go into Diabell by getting Woes back to our hand. Tengenjin down there. Send Silvera back, and we synchro back into Baron the floor. Use the effect to destroy, and now battle phase. So this, we have two Omni Negates, 2 Book of Eclipses, and Deception follow-up. They normal summon, we just negate it, just because I don't want them to add anything. They try to use their boss monsters, so we negate it from the hand with Baron. Popping it. Negating that. And surrendering. Really fun game with a few mistakes. Just be mindful of how you use Morian. Very quick game. This is against, I believe, stun deck. So they try to draw 2. We ash that because they threw away almost half their extra deck. Unfortunately, they still were able to draw 2. They set 1 though. I was thankful their destiny draw was not good. We use the Sengenjin engine to try to do something to go full combo this way, just to hopefully get baited. We have Sylvie for follow-up, that's why. They super poly us. And the Dimension Shifter. That was crazy they didn't use the Dimension Shifter. We then use Sylvie to get woes. Send the 2 for Doom Dragon. I misplayed here, thinking I could target it, but it's a dark. You can't target it. So we then get Deception here. It's not looking too good. It was a big mistake on my part, so my fault for not knowing how Mud Dragon works. But we still can go full combo here. Not too sure why they surrendered. I guess they didn't have anything, but I was gonna either Book of Eclipse them and attack them and still build a Omni Negate at least. This is a really quick duel against Blue Eyes. They start off, they Fury map, and we Droll and lock them. That ended their turn, which was crazy. So we love Droll and Lockbird. Go into Diabell Star, and they sue. So the last and final game, we're fighting against Blue Eyes, and our hand is also really good. Another Droll. Quick game of showing how hand traps just literally end games. They also have Piri's Raise map, burn half their life points just to get Droll and Lock, to get called by the grave. That kinda sucks, but we are banking evenly. Historically speaking, look at how Blue Eyes works. They can't consistently, as of now, go into a Omni Negate or a Negate, so as they're comboing off, we are still able to break this board soon enough. I'm not too sure how they work, but all I know is they get easy tuners with Blue Eyes. So for them, they just have a Negate. I saw they got a Veiler and a set card, so they possibly have 3 interruptions. We evenly them on the battle phase. Elzet to send woes. Set woes. Normal summon Sylvie to get Veilered. We use Deception. Deception to send Elzet to get hollowed. Hollowed to chain with Wanted. We would have gotten Baron and attacked. Great game. So those were the replays for White Forest Azamina Millennium engine. It's a pretty consistent deck, really combo heavy. You need to really play quick too to play this deck. So if you're not used to the combos, it could be a problem sometimes. I did lose through time within the tournament, and I could have won, but unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm still learning the deck. Let me know what you guys think. Just because I also want to mess around with ratios, have you use things like Guardian Chimera. I'm willing to try anything. This deck is still a work in progress with more support to come. So it just means the deck has untapped power. We will just have to see within the future how the deck goes. But as of now, it's a pretty good deck. It's probably A tier deck. It's probably number 3 in the tier list. It's not the best deck in the game. It can compete, yes. Is it the best? Maybe not. But it's still a great deck. I hope you guys could check it out, try it out, and let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much. The only gripe I have to say with the deck is that if you get timed correctly with the Sprite Sprind and M7 to get interrupted and you use your normal summon, you're pretty much dead on the water. Your only way to get out of that is if you had more gas like LZ. Speaking of which, if you still use the Millennium engine while getting interrupted and you already normal summon, let's say a Sylvie, you could still do the Millennium engine to dump. Instead of using Sprind to dump a Stellar, you could always dump LZ to use M7 to bring it back to your hand, and you have Wuju Temple and spells and trap for fodder already. You could still combo off that way. So this deck has a lot of ways to be explored. That's it, guys. Have a good day. Take care, guys.